City Hall, James.
You've just had a quick look at something most people don't have a chance to see, the behind-the-scenes activities of a television news operation. Most of you only see the finished product on your home screen. And from that point of view, you realize that television has become the most compelling form of communication the world has ever known. It is also one of the most complex forms of telling a story. And right down there, over 8.5 million potential stories are just waiting to happen. In the next half hour, you'll see what it takes to stay on top of those stories in An Anatomy of Eyewitness News. New York City, the toughest, fastest-moving news beat in the United States. To cover it requires a staff of specialists, seasoned newsmen who can bring the 24-hour happenings into your living room firsthand. At wabc-tv, the Director of News and Public Affairs is Albert Primo.
Well, the coverage is designed to meet the tremendous responsibility we all have here. We're trying to bring a personal dimension to the news. You know, our people are directly involved in the story. Every reporter, when we say if you weren't there, we were, we mean we were there where it happened with all of our tremendous resources, oftentimes before anyone else. I think if you watch Eyewitness News and you're concerned about the city, as we are, and someone is hiding something, our people will be out there to find out about it.
This is where it starts, the assignment desk, the heart of the Eyewitness News operation. By two-way radio, the desk directs movements of news crews throughout the city. The assignment editor has to know what's happening and where it's happening. To live up to the name Eyewitness, news teams have to be out where the action is, to provide a more personal and comprehensive report from the field. This includes cameramen, electricians, and sound engineers, as well as reporters. It's a long day out there, a pushing, shoving, bone-tiring day that never ends. Keeps a man busy.
One of the individuals, Leonard Siniskalki, was arrested yesterday, and he's indicted today. The investigation that we have has been proceeding since July 2nd at the time of the crime.
How much film do we have left?
About the toupee.
100? We have 100. We won't need it.
Wade. Al, we just got Burton Roberts. Not a bad piece. We're going to go down and film him now. He's the ringleader. He was arrested this morning. And we're going to get him, I imagine, with a toupee, which figures in as prime evidence. Yeah, it was a good fit. Yeah, so Roberts explained how the wig fit in the commission of this crime. And he said it was fashionable, although he preferably wears his hair shorter.
Okay, Herbie, go around the front. Watch out for lip readers, though. Oh, smart nut.
Want to get in, can you shoot through the window here? Or did you get enough?
I can try.
Okay.
Yeah, he's hiding now. I'll try to get down there.
Covering the news is one thing. Making it all fit is something else. editorial judgment, deciding what will or will not go in any news program.
Are you going to that?
I can't go to the thing. It's in the middle of the goddamn work
Hi, how are you?
Do you have any word at all about, can you give us any word at all about the city's preparations for the big day tomorrow? Can you tell us anything at all?
About what?
Anything at all about tomorrow, the big day tomorrow?
Not right now. Not right now. I'm only an hour late.
Oh, for Christ's sake. This guy's going to do his interview out there.
Are in need of housing. In the thousands. 65 units. The terms are 8 years. We need 8 years. Now, we've been trying to do this, trying to get some representation for approximately just about a year now. 11 o'clock this morning is too late.
I think it's utterly contempt, and I'd like the nation to know this today. Thank you.
Remember November!
I want you to go to City Hall. I want you to go to the Blue Room. Here you go. Okay. Don't worry about a dope sheet. I'm going to write this myself. But we got a tight schedule, so I got to try to get this.
I want you to fight now.
Huh? I bet you I beat you.
We'll try it.
This is not the field for men who are afraid to make decisions. Those decisions are made daily in afternoon meetings between the director of news, his executive producer, news producers and directors, and assignment editors. The meeting might last 12 minutes. The meeting might go on for an hour.
Okay, what do we have?
Slugger's rain watching. It's the story that covers all the rain we've been having the past few days and possible flooding. Just a story to get us started, really, and we'll have a tag at the end of it for Tex Antoine. Then we go into...
Has it been explained why we've had all this rain recently, 12 out of the last 3
Well,
months?
the Weather Bureau says that there really is no explanation. It's just a mass of heavy air sitting up there that's not moving out of the way, and they're really
high
not
pressure holding.
So they just say that it's a block. That's the term they give it, a block in parentheses, which really doesn't mean darn.
The credit card is Bronx.
No, this is Brooklyn this time. This is gold out in Brooklyn. They've cracked a ring where they had stolen credit cards. They think they're mafia ties here, too.
Does Milton Lewis's piece tie into that at all?
No, not really. Not really. Well, yes, in a sense it does, yeah. In a sense it does, because he said about a week or so ago that gold would have a breaking story where he would seek indictments on felony charges rather than misdemeanor, so it could well tie in that sense.
Yeah, why don't you tell Schubeck to allude to that? Will you tell him that, Tom?
Right.
We got Sutton Live, right?
Something's
What does Cosell have today?
Cosell was kind of vague. When I talked to him before, he said one of two things. He was going to try to bring in possibly another young golfer, or he might try to bring in astronaut Lovell. He's having cocktails just about now at Lovell, you know what I mean?
All right, what do you have tonight? Anything?
Yeah, we got a full boat in the way of talent. We've got Boda, Schubeck, Melba, Tucker's doing a review, and we've got Tex. I might throw him, you know, a double spot tonight on the show. We're going to be getting a 9:35, a minute-and-a-half spot. That network's moving on the Mariner 6 transmission that we're going to record. Obviously, we're going to have Bergman on the Apollo moon pictures that were released. I expect something on the Nixon trip. Probably credit cards for another go-round. It seems like a pretty good story.
From the time it happens to the moment you see it, Eyewitness news correspondents are totally involved in every story they cover.
Take the cab. I got the cab out
Going in?
Yeah.
Long after other reporters have filed their stories and called it a day, Eyewitness news correspondents are still out in the field digging for facts. Back in the studio, those same correspondents are still at it, trying to put all the pieces together.
Do we have enough covering footage, do you think?
I believe we do. I'm not all the way down there yet.
So what if you were made president of the Long Island today? What would you do to him?
Okay.
Surefire remedies for the feminine blonde, and the greatest adornment in the wonderful world of women since Eve discovered the fig leaf.
Each man assumes complete responsibility for the assignment he draws, from start to finish.
Trying to get them, not smiling, not laughing out.
Yeah. Be serious, please.
Look down at what you're supposed to be looking at, madam.
Inhale and hold it for 20 seconds.
That's enough.
Hey, buddy, could you
move over just a little bit,
bend a little? I want to get a shot of that stern there.
Every good news operation has to have an investigative reporter. Newspapers used to do that a lot. Now television is moving to originate more stories. This is the man who does the job for Eyewitness News.
Office for guidance. And that Hogan wrote back and said in words of substance that he would not be happy about the Triborough Bridge and Tunnel Authority awarding that contract to the indicted firm to do the job on the Throgs Neck Bridge. Well, wait a minute, Bill, wait a minute. Let's get this straight. You did write for guidance. Yeah, I know, that's all true. But the fact is, Hogan pointed out of the alleged skullduggery on the part of this firm and at least one of its officers. Well, you're giving them this contract anyway, is that right?
I hate to say this, but there are some people in this town who don't want us to know certain things.
Thank you very
My job is to find out. This doesn't always make me the most popular guy in certain parts of town, but I really don't care. There's a job to be done, and I get a charge out of doing it, even though I once almost got a bullet in the back. It's a job in which you must remember two things. Always protect your source, and always expect the unexpected.
You warm up the feet? I'm serious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Oh, I just got through kicking a few kicks, so why not?
For some people, the bright lights of Broadway are their beat.
Well, it has to be bright red, see. I had on a bright red, but I put something over it to cover it.
Spending a little time with a star before curtain time is one way to get insight into a story.
They will.
5 minutes, please. 5 minutes. 5 minutes, please.
See what I mean?
You get into your dressing room and put on your lipstick.
All right.
If there's a story to cover, being at home, sick in bed, is no excuse.
All my colleagues were dropping around me one by one, but after a little advance warning of stomach cramps and a little tickly throat, yesterday, all of it, fever, cough, aches and pains, drained of energy feeling, this whole bag of flu misery. It was Mark Twain who said, the only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. But Bernard Shaw was a little bit closer to it, I think, when he said, I enjoy convalescence. It kind of makes the illness worthwhile. That's a little closer to my philosophy, save when an assignment editor of some imagination calls you and says, hey, look, you're an eyewitness to the Hong Kong flu. How about telling us how it is? Okay, this is how it is. Robert Leip, Eyewitness News, at home and at ease.
There are two ways to get a story. We find the best way is to get out of the office. In sports, sometimes that means hitting the cream chicken on toast circuit. But it's not just cream chicken on toast.
One man
He went to the United States Military Academy. He cracked up. He had a nervous breakdown. He spent 9 months in the Valley Forge General Hospital. When he got out, it's true, when he got out, he still wasn't well. He went down to Florida, his home state. They found him, his brother did, one day actually walking the streets toward the Everglades. He became a religious fanatic. He used to draw pictures. That's right. He used to draw pictures of chapels and churches, and it's not funny to him. He's a big money winner now, but he essays instead of the money, the Carnaby Street motif, and when he stands, you'll understand what I mean. Bert Yancey.
All right, we can make it move fast if we kept the thing very tight.
Okay.
What do you have, Cook? Got it?
Yes. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
This happens 2 or 3 times a day around here. So much of the news that we're exposed to today is delivered secondhand with all of the chances of error that entails. I don't know, there's something natural about covering the story yourself and then telling it. That's as natural as can be. You've lived it, really. It's the feel of the story. I guess that's it.
Well, what's the time you want to come in on this?
Well, about certainly no more than 20 seconds from the intro. We should be right into the sound.
I can move this scene down to the end. We'll come in with about 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Oh, yeah, this is the last scene and with all the
scene.
movement. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
If we can do that, it'll be perfect. What do you figure the timing will be, though?
About 1:57, 58.
All right, well, what we're talking about is 2 minutes for the piece, so actually we can go to 2:15 with the intro and exit. That'll be fine.
I can work it out.
I'll give you a chance to work on it a while. I'll be back.
Right.
That looks good. The photography's good. It's a good piece.
Do you see this as a possible return to the single patrol of days gone by that were not permitted as a result of the danger to the patrolmen in recent years?
No, this is a return to foot patrol. It's something that is necessary in certain areas.
Okay, KEN 995, this is Unit 11. I just talked with Captain Geary over here at the 84th, and he's got 7 men going down to Park Slope on that homicide. He said we could clear to go down with them and shoot on the inside. Right, 995, Unit 11. You rarely come away from a story satisfied that you've covered all of it. One of the most difficult parts of television news is condensing the facts. If you talk too much, people lose interest. But what you say is only part. The pictures have to accurately illustrate. If they don't match, the result can be misleading. I don't think people realize how much we try to be fair. The most important things are accuracy and keeping the story in context and avoiding any tendency to overblow it.
The Irish are complaining pretty bitterly about the presence of British troops there.
They did that once before, I recall. Were they still straggling today?
It was terrible. The stench up there. Well, the last one back went on about 10 o'clock this morning, so they won't be all home until tonight, probably.
New York City, the toughest, fastest-moving news beat in the United States. If you weren't there, we were, firsthand.
Sorry. Thank you. No, he isn't in the shot. That's Roger Grimsley.
You have 1 minute and 5 seconds. Let me have your picture.
President and Mrs. Nixon are now at the halfway point of their Asian trip. yesterday. They were in Vietnam.
Take 2Q Melba, break free.
Senator Edward Kennedy says he'll stay in the Senate and he'll run for re-election in 1970.
Take 3Q John.
And in New York, politicians are discussing the subject of subway fares and whether or not that little token with a hole in the center should cost more.
Matt Thiem. Take it down a little. Announce, please.
Bill Story, Lou Boda, Tex Anquan, and John Bartholomew Tucker. Next on Eyewitness News.
Okay, we're off for 103.
Coming back on 2.
One Westchester commuter told me the New Haven was taking unfair advantage.
Take 3Q them.
And Fogachino says the best way to do that is to start pressuring the governor and the state legislature for a subsidy for the subways of New York. If that doesn't work, look for the money in New York City or at the federal level.
Take 3Q them.
Birth control and adoption may seem out of place when referring to animals, but they have a special meaning to those trying to find homes for unwanted pets.
The ASPCA even gives you some food and a brush for the new member of the family. If you're interested, you may see the animals at the shelter.
Yeah.
If you're undecided, hoping your news is good. This is Roger Greenland.
Thank you, Matt. Take it down a little. Announce, please.
Fortunately, this program will have pre-color.
Wipe the off me. Anything else to say, guys?
This has been a color presentation of WABC-TV News.
Stand by board, fade audio video.
And 5,
Fade audio video.
3,
Black.
2, and that's...
Very, very nice, gang. It's a wrap. Thank you. Thank you, Joe.